Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, the Hut. Welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. You know the New York Yankees are bye-bye. They went home. They lost Game 4 against the Blue Jays, and of course, Yankee fans were mad, and that makes my heart warm, because I like to spike the football when I can, even though my Mets lost. You know, it's funny. A family member texted me the second the Mets lost on Sunday. Couldn't leave me alone. And the second this game was over on Wednesday, I gave him back what he deserved. It's all good fun. No, it is. But so people are basically dissecting the Yankees. Yankees still have the same problem that they've had. They got a guy that's sort of, as a leader, he's sort of lukewarm about a lot of stuff, and he had his big moment in the postseason, Game 3, a 3-run home run. Aaron Judge hit that 3-run home run off the foul pole in Yankee Stadium. I wonder if the foul pole was short like at Citi Field, would have called it a home run. But anyway, the Yankees are being basically criticized heavily, and we'll get more into this as we go along. So you need to hit the subscribe button. You need to follow this channel. We'll follow along everything with the Yankees. It's fun. It's from Awful Announcing. And, of course, the Fox pre- and post-game team, they are amusing. We saw what happened with Vladdy Guerrero making fun of the Yankees and John Sterling, and making fun of A-Rod and Derek Jeter, and they couldn't do anything about it. And then later on, David Ortiz there making fun of them. And, of course, later on, the great Pedro Martinez, of course, making fun of them as well. But here we have Awful Announcing. Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, I'll get it right. Derek Jeter trash Yankees front office after playoff loss. Quote, one of the worst constructions of a roster I have ever seen. Okay, let's see what this article has to say. Now, please, of course, like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. After watching the New York Yankees season come to an end and a crashing halt, a disintegration of epic proportions, after giving up 97 runs in the first 2 games of the series, Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter are finger-pointing their blame in the same direction. The Yankees lost the ALDS, the American League Divisional Series, to the Toronto Blue Jays in 4 games, and now they're left to spend another offseason trying to figure out how to end their championship drought. This is one of the longest droughts. This is now the 3rd longest drought in Yankee history. The other droughts were from 1903 to 1922, I believe. That's the longest one, which I don't know if that's a drought. They came to be in 1903 as the Highlanders. And, of course, from 1978 through 1995, that's the 2nd longest, and now we have the 3rd longest. The 3rd longest with this run of 2009 till now. Let it continue on another 10, 20 years. While many will blame manager Aaron Boone, A-Rod and Jeter are looking at Brian Cashman and the Yankees front office. They were really ripping into analytics. Everybody hates the analytics. I don't know what the big deal is. Every team's into the analytics. They even had the propagandists. They even had Susan Wallman say that Aaron Boone is all about analytics. She was on WFN today, on Thursday. Honestly, from the entire organization, he's the one guy with the circle that has the least to blame. A-Rod said of Boone during the FS1 postgame show. He's got a lot of talent, but for me, personally, one of the worst constructions of a roster I've ever seen. You have 3 left-handed catchers. You have 5 designated hitters. You have first baseman in and out. It's just a very, very difficult hand for Boone, and honestly, they were exposed against a much better Jays team. I'm sure that Michael Kay is eating crow today as my commentary, because he said they weren't a first-place team. Well, they have the best record in the American League. They're going play for the World Series. They, and the ALCS, they have a real shot. They have a really good shot. And is it Boone's fault? That's a good question. But having 3 catchers is not good. You got the catcher playing behind the plate, plays first base. You got old Paul Goldschmidt. You have 5 designated hitters. You got Chaz Chisholm sometimes not running hard. It's a very strange team. And this has nothing to do with the Mets, so I think everybody knows. I mean, these the Yankees guys, Brian Cashman was largely praised last offseason for his ability to build a roster in the wake of losing Juan Soto to the New York Mets. By Rodriguez, who does not love the increased reliance on analytics, one of the worst constructs of a roster I've ever seen, is allowing damning assessment of Cashman. Of course, having the worst built roster didn't stop A-Rod from picking the Yankees to win a World Series just a few days earlier. But here's the thing, okay? And the belief is that Cashman's not going to be around too much more. He's going to retire. He's going to step down at some point. He's been here he's been here a long time. He's been here 25 years, folks. Been here a long time. And I think he's still in his 50s. Still a young guy. Surprised he hasn't left. I'm surprised, we've said this before, and a lot of Yankee fans have said this. George Steinbrenner was still alive, he'd be gone. And so would Boone, by the way. Even the George at the end would have gotten rid of these guys. In the same segment where A-Rod ripped the Yankees front office, Jeter similarly absolved Boone of any blame, alleging he's not the in-game decision maker despite his manager title. Oh boy. Quote, Aaron did a good job. He's working with what he has to work with. And he sticks up for his players. I know he takes a lot of heat, Jeter said. Look, I'm not saying it from any inside knowledge, but I'm pretty sure Aaron's not the one that's calling every move they make throughout the game. Oh boy, that's interesting. Isn't that interesting? This has been a frequent criticism of the Yankees throughout Boone's tenure. When the Yankees moved on from Joe Girardi at the 2017 season, belief was that they were going to hire managers who would align better with the front office's analytical approach and vision. Now, I would say this. Joe Girardi won a World Series, and he did get them very close to the World Series in 2017. Obviously, they lost to the Astros. Every Yankee fan's been crying about that for the last 8 years. Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman have both pushed back on the idea that the front office meddles with the manager's in-game decision-making, but that hasn't stopped fans and apparently Derek Jeter from speculating. Interesting. It's worth noting A-Rod and Jeter don't have the best relationship with Cashman. A-Rod's relationship with Cashman deteriorated in 2013 after the then Yankees third baseman received a 211-game PED suspension. And Jeter's relationship with Cashman was fractured following the 2010 season when the Yankees were reluctant to give the aging shortstop a long-term contract. And one thing about Jeter, he carries a grudge. He was mad at A-Rod for a long time because A-Rod said he wasn't the best shortstop in the game, or something like that. And he was right. So he held a grudge. That's why A-Rod did play shortstop with the Yankees. Fast forward to 2025, both Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter were presented the chance to assess another Yankees season that ended in disappointment, and they both jumped at the opportunity to criticize and place blame on the Brian Cashman-led front office. Well, I think that's a little unfair, in my opinion. I think that's a little unfair for the writer to say that the reason that the A-Rod and Jeter were being critical is because of their past with Cashman. I think that's a bit much. I don't agree with that. I think just on paper, having 5 DHs on your team and not know what you have at first base and not having an everyday regular catcher, and obviously you have a very weird guy at second base. I thought it was interesting. One of the things that was interesting was that people were complaining about Trent Grisham, saying how poorly he played in the series. He is a role player, and he had a big year, career year, of hitting, I guess, 34 home runs. He's a role player, and role players do a specific thing during the season. If you expect him to do what this guy was going to do, The regular season, the postseason, you're going to be waiting a long time. They put a lot of responsibility on him in particular, and he didn't play well in the postseason. Also, Anthony Volpe did not have a good year. He was heavily criticized. He and his family did not handle it well. We know that the father had a meltdown at Citi Field when Met fans were goofing on him. He did not have a good year with the Yankees. Not a good defensive year. Did not have a good year with the bat. Very much a disappointment in the eyes of a lot of Yankee fans. So they got a lot of decisions to make themselves. Who's going to be the everyday shortstop here? They're going to move on from Volpe. Who's the regular catcher? What are they going to do with Ben Rice? Who's going to play first? Are they going to have any kind of future with Chaz Chisholm? Are they going to sign to a long-term deal? Who's going to play center field? What's going on with Cody Bellinger? The Yankees have a lot of big decisions to make, you know. Do I see them signing Pete Alonso? No. Because they could have signed him last year and didn't do that. The biggest issue that the Yankees, one of the many big issues with the Yankees is they have a bad contract in Giancarlo Stanton. He's a great talent, probably going to the Hall of Fame. But that contract has completely ripped that club apart. Completely ripped them apart. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.